Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for joining me for another video. So in today's video, we're going to be installing hood latches on Sean's car. He doesn't have a hood latch currently, and he's been using a bungee cord to hold his hood down. Really? What were you doing? Putting your hand up under? Let's see. Show us how you were doing it. Come on! You have to close the hood.
Close the hood for what?
To show how you was putting it on. Wow. Just to latch a hood. So the hood latches that Sean chose are the AeroCatch Extreme, and these are the locking version. So the package includes the latches and retaining rings that hold the lock nuts in place and help to position the hood latches in the hood. Also the strikes, or pins as some people may call them, a bag of hardware that includes washers, lock nuts, and keys that lock and unlock the hood latches, and stickers. So the packaging has instructions on it which are not very detailed, and there are some steps that we will be taking that are not outlined in these instructions. Also on the packaging is a template for the hole that we will be cutting in the hood to place the hood latches in. If you're interested in purchasing a set of hood latches like these, check out velocityshop.com. So the first thing that we're going to do is install the strikes. So we got lucky because our Civics actually have a grommet hole that we can use. So we just took the grommet out and we can install the strikes in those existing holes. If your vehicle doesn't have an open hole that you can use, you'll have to find a spot somewhere along the headlight support area that you can drill a hole in order to install the strikes. At this point when you're installing the strike, you don't need to tighten it because we may need to adjust the height of it later on when we install the latch. After you put the pins in, you're going to have to get something to mark where the top of the pin is actually going to hit the hood. We're going to use compound. Some people may use toothpaste or any kind of something that you can put on there that'll leave a mark when you close down the hood. So now we're just going to close the hood, and the compound will leave a mark on the hood, and then we'll know exactly where we have to drill. So the mark that the compound left is where we're going to drill the pilot hole through the hood, so then we know where the strike is going to come through the hood, and then we know exactly where to line up the hood latch itself. Before you start drilling or cutting, you want to make sure you cover your engine bay to protect from shavings. So now we're just going to drill the pilot holes where the compound left the marks. And now we're just going to use a step bit to make the hole bigger so that the strike can fit through it. So now that we drilled the pilot holes, we close the hood, so now you can see exactly where the strikes are going to come up through the hood. So that's what we're going to use as a guide for the template to cut the hole for the latch itself. Now I'm just going to cover the area with tape so that we don't scratch the paint. So now for the fun part. If you're anal like I am, this is where you're gonna spend a lot of your time trying to figure out how to line up the hood latch and get it perfect. But whatever you do, you wanna make sure that the strike is gonna line up with the strike hole in the latch. So on the template, you wanna make sure that where the two lines cross is at the center point of where the strike comes up through the hood. So once you figure out where that center point is, you go ahead and trace the outer line, and that is exactly where we're going to cut the hole for the latch. And now I'm just going to put some more tape because when we start cutting, I want to make sure that I am not going to scratch any of this paint. We're going to use these boxes to prop open the hood so that when we start cutting, we don't end up cutting something under the hood that we don't want to cut. Also, you want to make sure that you cover your engine bay just to protect from any shavings. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut along the line that I traced from the template. I prefer using a jigsaw when it comes to cutting holes like these. I just feel that it gives more of a precision cut and it's easier to maneuver it, especially around the corners. But you can use whatever tool you have available to cut, whether it be a jigsaw, a Dremel, whatever you're most comfortable with is what you want to use. Now I'm going to use the Dremel to cut the underlayer of the hood slightly larger than the hole we cut in the top layer of the hood for the latch. I forgot to record when I was marking the line of where to cut, but basically you want to cut the underlayer approximately between 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch larger than the upper layer of the hood where the latch will be installed. The reason for this is so that you have access space when installing the retaining ring. And now I'm just going to deburr all of the edges that were cut. Now I'm going to test fit the latch in the hole. If it doesn't fit, you can use a deburring type wheel to slightly make the hole larger. You want to make sure that the hole doesn't end up being too large because then you won't have enough surface for the mounting bolts. Once the latch fits, then you mark where you'll be drilling the holes for the bolts to go through the hood and attach to the retaining ring. Then we remove the latch and drill the holes. Once you drill the holes, you want to make sure that the bolts are going to fit through the holes. So I'm just going to use a step bit to make the holes larger until the bolt will fit through the hole. And now I'm just going to remove all of the tape because now we're ready to install the latches. Next, I'm going to place the nuts in the holes in the retaining ring. So the engineering of these holes were really smart because the nuts stay in the retaining ring, so you don't have to worry about fitting a socket or a wrench on the nut in order to tighten them. Now we're going to place the retaining ring up against the underside of the top layer of the hood. You want to make sure you line the nuts up with the holes that we drilled in the hood. Then we're going to place the latch in the hole on the top of the hood and through the retaining ring. And now we're going to install the bolts. So you want to make sure that you line up the holes in the latch, with the holes in the hood, and with the holes in the retaining ring.
You always want to start them with your hand.
And then you just keep tightening them until they're all tight. Now that everything's installed, the last step is to test to make sure that it works. So this is a point where you may have to adjust the strike higher or lower in order for the latch to close and lock. Once you figure out that point and you're finished adjusting, make sure that you tighten the strike. And that's it. You sit back and enjoy your new hood latches. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notifications whenever I upload new videos.
You laughing to yourself, them like a real skunt.
I'm laughing at you. You have to do it so like, hello. Do it again, please.
Do it again, please.
You like this, you like this.
I point it in.
Just do like this. Don't have no pinkies sticking out. You want people to call you a fag?
You think what they want.
I can have this moment.